In a dark, scary forest, hidden within the hollow of an ancient, scary tree, 3 scary fairies gather by a tiny fire with their microphones to discuss scary movies. This week's feature is an ancient tale from 1974 entitled Black Christmas. Now, let's meet our fairy hosts. Hi, I'm Maddie. Jesus is my savior, my husband is my king, and I'm Billy!
Hi, I'm Hannah. I like crew neck sweaters, destroying pianos, and I'm pro-life. What can I say?
Hi, I'm Evan. The only plastic on my body is the sheet I'm wrapped in.
And we are the Scary Fairies. I'm not sure when this will come out, but we're currently at the end of the year, and a lot of horror movies have come out. What horror movies have you guys seen this year, and what were your favorites?
Horror specifically, I don't watch that much horror because I'm a scaredy cat and everything scares me.
It's good for a horror podcast.
Yeah, it's great, and I'm super happy to be watching this every week. The Substance was my favorite movie this year. I had the best time of my life there at the theater. I think you saw it too, right?
Yeah, we all saw it.
Yeah, I saw it with Matthew in the theater, and it was a rollick of a time.
Yeah.
I mean, just a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to melt into a puddle and die because that movie was so fantastic.
I have a hard time choosing between that and I Saw the TV Glow for my favorite horror movies of the year.
I mean, Smile 2 had me really freaking out.
That's true. That was good. That was also really good because it was in a Dolby theater.
We went to go see it in a Dolby theater, and I screamed very, very loudly for most of the movie. And, I feel like that's how you know it's good.
Yeah. Were you under the influence of substances?
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like that makes movies scarier.
I mean, yeah, I was very terrified.
Now, I would like to do something where I air my grievances, and if anybody wants to air grievances after me, go right ahead. But when Hannah and I saw this movie, we saw it in theaters. They were doing a 50-year anniversary re-release. And I've seen a couple re-releases this year, and they like to put things at the beginning of the movie, which are basically like an interview with somebody about the movie, and then clips from the movie. And I feel like they shouldn't do that, because what if you haven't seen the movie? It wasn't terrible for Black Christmas, but I saw The Matrix, and they showed all the best bits at the beginning. And I'm like, if you haven't seen the movie, you're ruining it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that being dumb or bad, especially if you're seeing it for the first time in the theaters.
I feel like they do it for educational purposes, but I want to see the movie, and I had not seen it, and they showed so many different very scary scenes from it that were kind of made less scary due to that, I feel like. But
point proven. That's why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I liked the talks beforehand. Those were good.
We had Eli Roth. Eli Roth talked before the movie.
In person, he was there?
No.
No, okay.
Well, we were just at the local AMC.
He was. I don't trust that guy. I don't know what your life is.
No, before the movie, they recorded. This is what they do before these re-releases. Yeah. They'll record an interview with someone involved with the movie, or
okay.
Eli Roth is a famous horror director, so that's, I assume, why they had him do it. And he did Thanksgiving, which is a slasher in the vein of Black Christmas. So they interviewed him about it, and he said some insightful things. But yeah, they just kept showing bits of the movie, and it's this is, spoilers. You're giving spoilers right before the movie.
I don't feel like he needed to have all of those clips to prove his point. It was salient enough.
Well, I don't think he did it. It was whoever put it together.
I know he didn't do it, but I'm just saying whoever put it together didn't need to punctuate everything with clips from the movie. I feel like the discussion was good enough.
Yeah, I think that's just the standard now.
Ugh.
That's just what they do. I didn't like it. Does anybody else have any grievances they'd like to air?
Controversial. I saw last. I just humble brag signed up for an AMC A list, and so I've been to a lot of AMC movies lately.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I could never see the Nicole Kidman opening again at this point. Like it's been 4 or 5 years. I think it's time to put it away. I think we're good. I think you
Needs a
still have
little refresh.
Yeah, like like the memes have run out. The like you'll still have like one or two gay guys that cheer for it when it comes up. But like I think we're good. I think it's time to retire Nicole
Yeah.
and move on to something else.
I agree with that. I don't know why they haven't done something else, or at least something else with her.
They were going to. They were like they announced it, and then I think there was like a backlash, and people got mad that they were going to replace it, and then they chickened out and just shortened it. But even I'm sick of it.
I'm aware of 2 different cuts of it. So
Okay.
like different. It's you barely notice. It's just her saying saying different things.
Yeah.
But I've seen it so many times that I can tell the differences between the 2.
Which take it was?
Yeah. I totally agree with that grievance. I'm also an A-list member. AMC sent me an email telling me that I had seen 68 movies with them this year.
Wow. Good Lord. Wow.
Like they did like a Spotify rap for you?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, it wasn't a Spotify rap. At least if it was, I didn't see anything besides it saying you saw 68 movies with us this year. They broke it down into hours and minutes. Said like productive things you can do in that amount of time.
Yeah, they should have said like, you could have like learned this many languages.
Could have read this many books.
Yeah, you could have.
You could have saved this many children's lives.
Yeah, volunteered at a school this many times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Yep, that's the AMC Wrapped.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into this movie. I guess first of all, I'll ask, did you guys like the movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah. It was different than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll get into it, but like when I hear, and I'm probably confusing it with like 4 other movies that are Christmas themed.
Could be the remakes.
Maybe it's that too. Yeah, I don't know anything about it other than the title. But when you say like, "Oh, this is called Black Christmas," I thought it was gonna really lean into the Christmas bits. Basically, like I thought every kill and every like 10 seconds was gonna be like another Christmassy thing. Which is maybe the crappy
like
version
Christmas
of this.
themed dying.
Yeah, like every like somebody's gonna get hung with like mistletoe, like literally like stuff like that.
Somebody chokes on an ornament.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I thought like every kill was gonna be and like more kills. But yeah,
it's just like a straightforward mouth breather, just killing people, man.
Yeah.
Well, not every kill was super straightforward, I feel like, but
no, it was creative, but there wasn't a lot of violence necessarily.
No, not that many kills either for like a slasher movie. And I know this is kind of a proto slasher movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're so used now to like every 5 minutes we have to have a kill, every 10 minutes, that I was kind of surprised that there's so few. They made it matter almost more, which I like.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. All right, let's start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So at the very beginning of the film, we are from the point of view of someone outside of a sorority house who has waking sleep apnea. They climb up to the attic.
Okay. A trellis is a terrible idea. If you happen to have a trellis at your home, cut that thing down right now.
Yeah.
That is just asking for someone to climb up it and go.
Don't do it.
No,
don't do a trellis.
Don't do a trellis.
Do you need your roses to climb up there, you greedy little bitch? No.
Here's a ladder to sneak into my house, killer. Like, no. Like, take down your trellises. If you learn one thing from today, take down your trellis.
I hate it.
Do people still have trellises?
Oh, they sure do.
Huh.
I don't know, my godmother's got tens of thousands of trellises.
You gotta call that godmother right now.
I gotta call her.
There's somebody in her attic.
Yeah, there's somebody in that attic.
There is a mouth breather loose in Marin right now, ready to get her.
Luckily, the killer is discovered immediately because they are breathing so heavily. And then the movie ends.
And the movie ends.
And then they said, "Oh,
happily ever after."
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, this guy was breathing real hard in our house.
Then there's a bunch of girls downstairs having fun, and Barb is drunk.
Barb is drunk and a saint, and
I
she's
love
honestly my queen. A problematic queen, but my queen.
I was fully on board with Barb. I thought Barb is my hero. Barb is my number one. I wanted, yeah.
You're a real gold-plated whore, mother.
I love how both me and Hannah cackled at that line, and it's in the background. It's not
no, it's not like it. I feel like it may have been ad-lib. Like, I don't know. That is so great. A gold-plated whore.
I'm sure that was in the script. That's probably how it got funding.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the original title was The Gold-Plated Whore.
The gold-plated
Barb and the
whore.
gold-plated
Barb
whore.
and the gold-plated
It was going to
whore.
be a series like Harry Potter, but they chickened out.
And then the phone rings, which is a theme throughout the film. That's something Eli Roth talked to us about, was the scariness of phones.
Like how people could know your address through knowing your phone. It was listed in the phone book. I mean,
yeah,
the phone call shit is really scary. That happened to my friend. Like she would get like fucked up phone calls from people.
And she never found out it was me.
Yeah, and Jesus Christ. She never found out it was Matthew, and he just admitted this right now.
So that first call with like the heavy breathing and the really lewd messages, I almost took are they all Billy? Because I almost took that first one as like it could maybe not be him. It could just be like another.
I wouldn't be surprised if Peter was also involved.
Somehow.
But like
he's just also
this is so
happens
common.
to be calling them.
Yeah,
Peter, that cock.
The word. Okay, can we? Yeah, we'll talk about Peter. But like, has anyone deserved a death more than Peter, even if he wasn't?
Than that little killer? Dutch boy, Peter, with his little Dutch boy haircut.
Has there ever been a more? Like,
Jesus.
no, you got exactly what you deserve. You deserve to be dead too by the end. Like,
and
even if it wasn't you, you're bad, and you die now. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. Hate you.
I thought that actor was really good because I didn't realize. I've seen the movie a couple times, but I didn't realize until I was researching the cast that that's the guy from 2001, Space Odyssey.
Main astronaut.
Yeah,
goes to the future.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same actor, and he did 2001 before Black Christmas.
Oh wow! Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you'd never recognize him.
No, because he's
like such a cock.
Dutch falsetto child.
This is jumping ahead, but I want to talk about his piano recital where he tries to play Mary Had a Little Lamb and just can't do it. That's probably my favorite scene in the movie. It's just like in the middle of all this chaos happening. Everyone's looking for Claire. And then we just see this terrible piano recital. What is he playing? Why is he so bad? Why does he think he can like do this for a living? He's like 35.
Yeah, and playing something you'd play at your fifth grade recital.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go back a bit. Claire, who goes missing, it's because she died. Because they get after the first phone call, which goes on for a while and does a good job of setting the tone for the movie. I felt. Then Claire goes upstairs, starts packing. We are staring at her from inside of her closet, which was fun. And then Billy makes a little meow sound.
Yeah, I want to talk about the cat slander.
Let's talk about the cat slander
in this. And I think that's going to be an ongoing theme. That's that's a horror trope, but there's like too much cat slander. Like every time you're looking for your cat, somebody's got to die. Like it's rude. It's rude to cats, is what I'm saying.
Seems caddist.
Yeah, as a cat lover, I think.
As a cat lover, I'm highly offended.
I'm highly offended. Nobody's ever like, oh, let me get my dog. Like dogs hide more than cat. I don't know. Like,
well, I have a theory.
Yeah,
the cat's the accomplice.
Oh, the cat is like fuck.
Because the cat's in the attic, just like licking the dead bodies and shit.
Yeah, ready to eat that girl.
So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, a cat will, you feed a cat and they'll do whatever you want, really. Like, they're loyal, so
Yeah, that's like me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
That it is I feel like that's an iconic image of her face because I think it's on the poster where it's he suffocates her with like a garment bag, a plastic garment bag,
Yeah.
and then they keep cutting back to it throughout the entire movie, which is
Right.
great.
I thought it was interesting that a lot of the, like, quote, or what were proto jump scares were basically, like, going back to her body and showing you how, like, scary it looked.
But
Yeah,
also, but
Yeah.
also never, spoiler alert, doing that thing where somebody finds her. Like, you keep
Yeah.
expecting someone
Somebody
I
to
mean, somebody
find
does,
her.
but
well,
you,
somebody
yeah,
does find her.
somebody does, but then they
Yeah.
get killed too. But
Then
then,
they
yeah,
get
like,
killed.
but like, you think, yeah, like, in a modern horror movie, you'd think that, yeah, what a big halfway through it, they would stumble upon her and then
And it
realize
would
that, it's really bad that somebody is killing them one by one.
be a big reveal
Yeah.
rather than kind of peppered throughout the movie to make
Yeah.
us. Well, and I don't know. I found that scary.
Almost
That-
sadder too, like, just that
Yeah.
she's like just forgotten up
Just
there and
yeah,
never
it's
found.
just up there,
And like there's
covered
that
in a
one
garment
cut.
bag.
Yeah, there's that one cut where it's like from outside it's like through the window you see it from
And you see her,
outside the
yeah.
house. Yeah. And
Mhm.
she's like, oh, she's right there. She's right there for you to see her if you look up, but no one looks and no one sees her.
Well, no one ever finds Mrs. Mack either. I don't think they even ever figure out that she's gone.
Yeah.
Because, like, she was supposed to leave to go to her brother's and she gets hooked in the face instead and is the only other body chilling in the attic, but they never go into the attic. So I don't think they even know she's dead.
No, neither of them. Yeah,
No.
they're always
No.
Yeah, movie ends and it's like
I think
that's
they
the end.
assume Claire is dead.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, at a certain point once her dad comes and to pick her up and she's not around anymore.
Right. And then they find the dead body of the little girl and the
Yeah, so is that Billy? Do you think that's Billy that killed the little girl?
Oh, I think I assumed so.
I assumed, yeah.
But again, like, kind of like the phone call at the start, I took, like, one of the themes of the movie is, like, men suck, really, like, and they, like...
Yeah, well, I mean...
So it's, like, there's just such violence and, like, pervasive, like...
pervasive patriarchy. I mean, the director, I think, talked about how this movie is a movie about patriarchy in the way that it's so pervasive and you're never safe for it, even in the embrace of something like a sorority house.
Mhm.
Like, the whole you can't rape a townie.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
like, even the women are kind of
rough,
terrible
even
to each other.
even the women are kind of really mean to
Because they're
each
in this
other.
society that, like,
Yeah.
deals with all this crap.
We can go into this a little bit later. I have a lot to say about this part.
About which part?
About whether this is a feminist film and how,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think it is, but
oh, definitely. I think
Yeah.
whether intentional or unintentional,
Mhm.
it's a feminist film. It definitely passes the Bechdel test.
yeah.
In fact, I don't know if it passes the opposite of the Bechdel test. I don't know if there are ever two men talking to each other, talking about someone who isn't a woman.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of when, I guess, anytime they're talking to the police are
it's
talking
about the
about
case,
women.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So maybe there's something in the police case where they're not talking about a woman, like when the dumb cop doesn't know what fellatio is.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
that whole bit.
Well, that and also it's I just find it interesting that police, like men who think that they're acting as like protectors for these women, dismiss them until another man comes in and yells at them to take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
men who are generally spared from the violence of patriarchy and seek to end the violence become kind of pawns for this force of patriarchy because they essentially leave just to die at the end of the movie.
So is Billy the patriarchy?
Yeah, I think Billy is the patriarchy because you can never get rid of him.
Yeah.
And
That's deep.
it's real deep.
He's
And it's
faceless, too. He's
basically
not
left to
one
the-
person, almost.
Yeah.
He's everybody. He's anybody, yeah. You don't get to identify, which I also thought was interesting that we're so used now, like horror movies are the third act, is the big twist is who it is.
Mhm.
and they have some convoluted, like every Scream movie, which I love those scenes in every
Love
Scream
'em.
movie where
Yeah.
they reveal the grand scheme plan of I was so and so's great uncle's nephew, and that's why I'm doing
And
this.
that's why I'm doing
Yeah,
this. Yeah.
but this one is just like, nope, you don't get an answer. It's just evil, basically.
One thing I like about this movie is that it's like a proto slasher film, one of the very first slasher films, but it also subverts the genre. So there are like rules, like in Scream when he explains the rules.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sure if you were to match it up, you could probably find all those things maybe being broken in Black Christmas, but like the idea of like a feminist horror movie feels subversive because there's so many like movies that seem sexist, especially from like the 80s, that are slasher films that are just, about men killing women, and it's not in a sort of like a feminist narrative the way this is. And also the idea of the killer not being revealed ever. You never see the killer.
Mhm.
I mean, you see like his body, but you never know who he is or see his face really.
I also think that Jess explaining that she has dreams outside of motherhood was pretty huge for the time.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
the whole
The
abortion plot of I don't
abortion
want
plot.
it. You don't get to tell me. Like,
Yeah, and you don't get to tell me, like, I wasn't even gonna tell you about
Yeah.
this. And I think it's huge for the time, and it's also kind of timeless because it's something like as a child-free person that I still have to explain to a lot of people. Like my dreams don't lie specifically within motherhood. Like I'd like to I have other aspirations. Not to say that motherhood is bad. I don't think that people who choose that are
Yeah.
wrong, but
You
I
want
have
to
other dreams.
like
I have
being a piano recital
Yeah, I
person,
wanna
playing chopsticks.
I wanna play
You always
chopsticks.
talk about it.
I wanna beat up the piano afterwards,
Mhm.
and then I wanna make my girlfriend marry me.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, not even ask her, just tell her.
I'm gonna
Make
tell
her.
her
We're getting married
we're
and you're not
getting
having an
married,
abortion.
Yeah.
and you're not having an abortion.
I want to talk about real quick, speaking of feminism, Mrs. Mac
Mhm.
or Miss Mac.
Ooh.
I guess it's Miss Mac, right?
Bless. Love her.
So she is the comic relief of the movie. In fact, I'd say the first like third of the movie, it's hard to really pin down the tone because it starts
like-
out feeling
yeah.
like a horror film, and then Miss Mac starts pulling bottles out of
Yeah, it was like
everywhere.
something out of like a 60s comedy. Yeah, it was like something out of like a like a Mad World or something. Yeah, like her bit is that she has booze everywhere,
And
like,
it's
the books.
always dry sherry. Like
Uh-huh.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then there's also the scene with Claire's dad. So when Claire's dad shows up to meet Claire, she doesn't meet him, so he goes to the sorority house and he meets Mrs. Mac. And we know Claire's dead, but she spends the whole time like in like a slapstick comedy way trying to cover up things so that he doesn't see around the house, like a poster of two people having sex
Oh yeah.
in his daughter's room.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of her at first. I thought, I was kind of really thrown when she starts to like pull out the bottles. I
Yeah.
was like, what is this? Like,
I don't know. She grew on me for sure,
Yeah.
but it seemed like at first that it was a tone problem.
mhm.
But I don't know. I kind of enjoyed her because
Yeah.
she wasn't like shaming anybody. She was just kind of in on the
This is how it is.
this is how it is nowadays. Like I can't control the morals of these girls. Like I'm here to drink and make sure that stuff gets fixed, maybe.
Like, did she need to hide her
That's what-
alcohol?
No,
from
that's-
here. I was like, do
I
the girls
wonder,
care?
do the girls give a shit?
I don't think that they would care at all. In fact, I'm sure that they know. They
Yeah,
know that
like-
there are bottles hidden. There's a string running from the flusher of the toilet to the tank. Like, they know that something's going on. I feel like that's just a part of her character. Her character's comic relief in a movie that's weird to have comic relief, but I enjoyed it.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of like that sort of that slapsticky energy that she brought.
Yeah, I loved it. I love her.
Yeah.
But I
love
think the first
her.
time you watch it, it's jarring. It's jarring to
Yeah.
see her.
Yeah.
What I guess I was worried too that like the point of the movie was going to be that to punish her. Like I was because of that trope too in horror movies of like the quote unquote bad girls or bad boys get punished, right? Like in a slasher movie, you have sex or you do something and you earn getting killed.
hmm
So I was like, is
Add
that
that-
the point? Is that what they're doing? And not really. Like he does. Like she dies and she gets murdered and one of the victims, but there's like almost it's not related. It's not because she's drunk, basically.
Yeah, and there's another point for my it's a subversive film before the genre even existed.
Can we talk about how great the costumes are?
The costumes are really good. I thought I noticed at the end someone was like at the very end of the credits they gave someone credit for the outfits. Like it said like the girls' outfits by somebody.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, as a person who knits, it really enjoyed Jess's sweater with the hands. Super great color work. Little tight sweater that Peter wears, just kind of symbolizing what a little asshole he is. And then I really, really loved Jess's pink hat when she was explaining that she was going to get an abortion. Like a lot of the
I didn't even notice that.
Loved it. It was a pink mohair beret, and I'm like gonna make it. But it is so innocent and so cute, and I loved it as this sort of juxtaposition for like, oh, she's gonna do this thing that's so taboo, but no one's gonna punish her, and she's gonna say this, and she's gonna look fucking great while she says it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was making a fucking amazing statement, like that women who have abortions don't really have anything to be ashamed of.
They have nice hats.
And they have nice hats.
The two things that are true.
Two things that are true is that women who have an abortion can have a nice hat. And they did nothing wrong.
They did nothing wrong.
Two universal truths.
Universal truths.
I think now we should talk about what's her name? Lois Lane. Barb.
Margot, yeah.
Barb's death.
Where at first I thought, oh wow, this actress is incredible. Like the first scene, I was like, wow, she's really like bringing a high level of performance to this. And then I looked up, I was like, who is that? And I was like, oh, okay, it's Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is stacked.
Yeah, it's
with
stacked.
actors.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
We got 2001. We got Lois Lane. And Evan, did you notice that the lead actress is Juliet from the 1960s Romeo and Juliet?
I didn't. I read that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I saw this movie for the first time, I was like, "Whoa, that's Juliet!" Because I haven't seen her in anything else except Romeo and Juliet and that movie.
Yeah. Has she done this movie? Did she do much anything else other than those two? Were those like her two?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
There's no way to know.
There's no way to
There's no way to know that ever.
We'd have to like find her phone number and call her.
We'd have to call her and
ask her.
And she's not taking calls after this movie.
Yeah, no,
she's not. No.
Just call her and be like, Billy.
They're all gonna laugh at you like that. Like it's
exactly.
Billy, your mother and I are talking to you, Billy. Your mother and I need to ask you a question.
I feel like that would be like a good game show voice.
This creepy mom voice of like at least creepy voice. Yeah.
Come on down. I can't even do it. He does that. Whoever they got the voice actor to do that does voices really well. I think.
Did I read like they had multiple people play him, so kind of to keep.
Oh,
I thought I read that or I made it up, and it's true because I said it. But I thought that they said that like multiple people played him, like the physical version, the voices. They had like multiple people do it.
They got so 3 actors played Billy.
Yeah.
So there's a Billy and a phone voice, Billy's shadow and a phone voice. So there's 2 phone voices, and there's
Mhm.
Billy's point of view, which I
Mhm.
assume just means they held the camera.
Cameraman.
Oh, it's probably you saw his
AKA
his
a cameraman.
hand. Yeah,
Okay.
the camera. But you see his hand going down the ladder of the attic. But I always thought it was funny because I'm like, you only see one hand, and it's like he's holding the camera with the other hand.
Yeah.
It's really obvious.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 people played Billy. But I guess yeah, so one of them Billy's shadow, I don't know what that means. But one of them because I feel like the main Billy would be the one who you actually see part of his face when he like lifts up the unicorn.
Oh, and yeah, I love that shot. That's an
Yeah,
incredible
that's
shot.
iconic.
It's
Just
a great
so
one,
good.
shot.
the one eye, the one, yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a t-shirt with that image on it. Nobody cares.
No.
Let's see. So yeah, Barb dies by unicorn.
Which was kind of
and
the
that's
most bloody, gruesome death of all
Yeah.
of them,
And
yeah,
Like,
that's
like the other 2 are fast and or like off camera almost. Like,
yeah, and the one with the most kind of stabbing action happening and blood. Yeah.
And I
definitely the most violent.
Yeah, and I
Most violent.
overall too. Another thing that makes this kind of a or just like a not a prototypical slasher movie to me is like
Subversive.
yeah. So that's the word is like how not fun the kills are. I feel like in the 80s or later on, and the ones I've seen at least, like
It's all about
there's
the
almost-
elaborate gory ways.
yeah, there's
they
almost
die.
like a
Right.
perverse joy in like how crazy the kills are, right? And this one is just like they're sad, like it's just like
yeah.
oh she's dead now, like there's
Grubby,
nothing,
sordid, gross.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
nothing,
nothing.
thrilling about it almost even, or right, like
Well, and
Yeah, I
then
mean, he
way.
just kind of grabs whatever is around and
Mhm.
kills them.
kills them, yeah, in almost like a
Yeah.
realistic way, where it's like oh yeah, that's how you would kill somebody if you stabbed him with a glass unicorn.
also he's
Right.
got to be super stealthy because nobody finds him. I mean, and he
Oh.
gets away with it. So is this whose fault is that? Is that the incompetence of the police?
Yeah.
Is it the women's fault?
Also, so not to be cinema sins or whatever, like dumb, plot holy, but did he sneak a phone up there in the attic? Like, is there a phone?
No,
up there?
he's going down to
Okay.
to
Maybe I missed
Mrs.
this.
Mack's room because
Okay.
they explain in the movie that
Yeah.
Mrs. Mack has her own phone line in her room.
Yeah.
So that's the
Oh,
phone
but it's
he's
not-
been calling from
okay.
this whole time.
Because they say, oh, that one, but no calls have been coming to that one. Okay,
Yeah.
I got. Okay, I missed that. I thought it was like, did he have a phone up in the attic?
That would have been cool if he had a
Yeah.
cell phone the whole time.
Yeah, like that. He had the.
He's a
first cell
time
phone.
traveler.
He's.
That would have been a twist.
I'm interested. We'll talk about it, I guess, because we'll watch the other ones. But yeah, I wonder how this changes with
Cell
the
phones.
invention of cell phones, which is
Yeah.
like every movie nowadays really is the cell phone problem of like people just have phones all the time.
Yeah.
I can't
Especially-
possibly see how it works with
Yeah, especially the 2019 one.
Yeah.
I want to see how that works because the 2006 I feel like
probably
it
on
was
TikTok. Am I right?
anyway.
No.
Going back to Barb's death.
Mhm.
So that is the most violent death in the movie, and then the death right after it, we don't even see because it's Phyllis walks into her room and just gets grabbed,
Yeah, and they just lay her right on top of
and then
Barb.
she's bloody. We see her bloody, but we don't see how she got all bloody.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a unicorn horn. You don't want
Was
to.
is that an ice pick? Like what? Is just like a statue? I missed.
She
I don't pay
had
attention.
like a collection. Obviously,
She had
Yeah.
a glass.
You said you watched
menagerie.
this movie twice.
When does this
Is that
movie
because
take
you
place?
did?
Is what I'm curious about. And there's
pretty
no indication of when time of year this movie takes place in.
What? Yeah. What is there like a holiday coming up or?
No, is there? There's no way to know. There's
no way to know. None.
She has a collection of glass figurines all over, like on the top of her bed.
Oh.
And one of
shouldn't
them
have
is
that.
the unicorn.
Yeah, that
And
was a
like they
mistake.
prominently show you the unicorn
Yeah.
several times
Very-
before she gets
Very
stabbed.
Tennessee Williams of her.
Mm.
She's got a glass
So.
menagerie.
Yeah.
This is an adaptation of Glass Menagerie, right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
right.
I think so. They just had to change the name for legal reasons.
Yeah, they've
Mhm.
been.
Yeah.
The Christmas Caroler scene is fun. That
Mhm.
reminded me of
Yeah, that was kind of like
Gremlins.
the most Christmassy it gets, almost. Yeah, like
that really, like, yeah,
that's like
makes you feel
oh,
the
okay, yeah.
season.
Now they're using the Christmas of it all to like do a kill or to mask a kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the whole movie was going to be that, where like every 10 seconds somebody would.
I think I saw the 2006 remake, 18 years ago or whatever. I don't remember it, but that's what I remember it being.
Yeah,
So, which feels like an aughts remake is usually just about the ways
the
that
gimmick.
blood can come out of people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They do trace the calls, which was I like that part because it felt like kind of like a history lesson.
Yeah, it was very interesting too, the way it was shot in how you got to see every tower of the kind of the mechanical phone machines as you went through, and he looked for which line it was. Very interesting. I know there's like podcasts about that.
Not this one.
Not this one, baby.
You don't know nothing about phones.
We don't
know
nothing.
nothing
We don't
about
know
no
nothing about
phones.
them phones.
But I did enjoy that, and I do think that like having the phone be a focal point is really interesting. And
Mhm.
like you said, Evan, it'll be interesting in the sequels to see how they handle
Mhm.
the phone, how they handle that, because it's almost like the phone calls are a character in the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the big, like needle drop or the big, mic drop moment is the calls are coming from inside the house.
Yeah,
That's like
which
the
is
basis of it, which is less effective when
Right.
it's.
Yeah, less effective when landlines aren't so much of a thing anymore.
I was
Kinda-
looking that up because
Yeah.
that it's like the babysitter. It's what is it, like a myth
Yeah.
of the
An urban
babysitter
legend.
Yeah, the urban legend. That's what I'm looking for.
Mhm.
Like that movie series. And I was looking it up, and that when this movie came out, that urban legend was probably like tops 10 years old.
Yeah,
Mm.
so it was still a new idea.
So it's still a
the
new
calls
idea, but there
come from
weren't
this
really
thing.
any movies before this that did it. There's one I found that I had never heard of, and I read the description of it, and it didn't sound that much like the urban legend, but this one really felt like the first movie to really capitalize on that, and then there's a bunch after.
Mhm. Cell phones ruin everything. It's not as effective when it's just like the calls coming from your general area because
The
you have
call
a cell
coming
phone?
from her Nokia.
Yeah.
Didn't they do a movie with they must have, like, a calls coming from inside the house movie with cell phones where it's like, we've pinpointed it, it's in the house.
Oh, probably. Yeah. Well, it makes me think like I don't know if you're familiar with the play, but or slash movie, but did you ever see Rabbit Holes?
I saw Rabbit Hole.
That's what I said, and that's what I've always said. But yeah, no, like that movie, right? Like the play, it was like the play. By the time the movie comes out, it's right between the time that like videotapes aren't a thing anymore. So the original play, it's a video camera, and like the big scene is that they've lost their son, but the dad accidentally quote unquote records over a videotape, and in the play it's effective because he like physically recorded over a thing, and then in the movie cell phones were a thing, and he just like accidentally like deleted a like.
No, he deletes it on purpose.
iMovie. Yeah, but it's not as effective because it's like it's like
I don't know. That movie
zeros.
makes me cry. I like that movie.
Haven't seen it. I need to watch that.
Yeah,
it's John Cameron Mitchell.
It is.
And 7 Degrees to Kevin Bacon for this. The Phyllis is the manager of Hedwig in Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I was trying to figure out where I recognized her from.
Which one's Phyllis? Because I don't know names.
The one with glasses and frizzy hair.
With the frizzy hair. Oh my god. Okay.
She's she's Hedwig's manager in Hedwig.
Oh, Andrea. Oh my god, it's Andrea Martin, for love of God. I didn't know that either. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
She's in other things as well. I just think of her as Hedwig's manager.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
Stacked cast, man.
My god, yeah.
Stacked cast.
Stacked cast. needs a roar. A nice roar.
So I guess we do kind of see the killer at the end, but just I love how they do the chase when he's chasing Jess, and they don't show his face, and you just see like his body, like it's like a force of nature going after her.
Is this the first or one of the first movies to do the killer point of view? Is this like where that comes from, more or less? Okay.
Eli Roth talked to us about that. There were two others
because he was there
that he mentioned before this.
Right.
Yes,
Peeping
he was there.
Tom.
He was there in person.
Yeah, Peeping Tom and another movie. He said like do the like killer perspective, but he said that this one is the first one that really makes you feel like you're the killer, which is kind of just an opinion, man. But but I get what he's saying. Like I feel like this wasn't the first, but it definitely was
Very
one
early.
of the fundamental
it wasn't
ones.
a trope yet as much. Yeah.
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 And they didn't have the breathing. I think the really awful heavy breathing is fundamental.
Yeah.
And also those little freakouts that Billy seems to have by kind of rocking the suffocated Claire back and forth and flipping out on the
he's
phone.
almost like taking care of her. Yeah, like he's
sort of
like
taking
keeping
care
her
of her and keeping her like a doll. It's just,
I didn't care for that.
It's a no from me, dog.
Well, that, related question: could you fix him? Do you think?
Could I fix him?
Yeah, could you fix Billy? Could you, like, with a little time?
He's just a little
he just needs a little TLC.
See into his heart,
Just listen to him and his ideas and his voices.
I think I could fix Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're a big fan of Chopsticks. You always have been. What's your favorite song?
It's just one of those great songs.
I like really bad performances of Chopsticks.
Timeless.
Yeah, so we have the chase. Then we end up in the basement.
I feel like Peter just Peter could have done things, and I mean, I know that this doesn't even matter, but he could have been like, "Hey, it's Peter," or like, "I'm not here to kill you," but then he like kicks.
No, he's psychotic.
Yeah, he's a psycho. Instead of maybe knocking on the front door, he decides to break in.
Yeah, again, for somebody who isn't the killer, technically, no one's ever deserved to also be killed and
also be killed and die like
and
Peter
thought that was the killer. Yeah. He was asking for it, not to
Well, I like how the killer starts using things that Peter has said in his phone calls, and then when the phone is tapped, Peter calls, and then the cops call back, and they're like, "That was really weird." Did you notice the way he was talking? It sounded like he's the killer.
Yeah, for if he's not the killer, he sure sounds like it. Like what?
Yeah, I like how they really, really set him up to be the killer. But he's not the killer, but he's still like a villain.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like he just fully bad news.
An absolute villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Peter is one of those boyfriends that you end up telling your friends about, that there's one of those motherfuckers you can't get rid of.
I dated this loser in college, and he was terrible at the piano, but
he thought he could play piano, but he just
with him. Yeah.
kept playing Chopsticks over and over again.
I do also I think this is probably a problem with the movie, but I think it actually ends up working for Peter. They do, when he's doing his recital, the camera comes around and comes around the piano, and you see his feet, and his feet are not moving. And I mean, I'm no pro pianist, but I know you use your feet.
Yeah.
And especially with what he seemed to try to be doing, which was modern stuff.
Yeah.
I would imagine he'd have been using those feet a lot more. So I think that there's a reason that he didn't pass his final.
Yeah.
Yeah, he deserved to die.
He
Yeah.
deserved to die. What does everybody feel like the scariest part of the movie was to them?
Hmm.
I felt like the eye in the crack was
Oh,
horrifying
yeah.
to me.
At the
I-
end,
I
yeah.
hate his eye in the crack. I also really hated that phone call. That first phone call was very like your worst nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. The gross. Yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and they stayed on it was just crazy. You're like, just hang
Yeah,
on.
well,
like,
and they shift
like-
the perspective to every girl
Yeah,
and
they're
show
like, yeah.
you how it affects every.
Totally.
Not
Yeah.
not girl, woman.
Yeah.
And it's very jarring and scary.
Yeah. The scariest part to me was when the movie ended and I finished it the first time and I was home alone, which was a terrible idea, and I shouldn't have done that because I immediately was like, the killer's here and I'm going to be murdered in my house. And I think I even like called out for my cat or like followed him upstairs. And I was like, "This is it. I'm doing everything."
You got to know where the cat is because that's how they get you.
That's how they get me. And I was like, "I'm doing everything that you do in this movie to be murdered."
Did you drop all the contents of your purse and say,
did, yeah.
"Look what you made me do"?
Yes. I found all the hidden bottles of alcohol around my house. I was doing everything.
You opened a
the
book
movie.
that you cut out
Mhm.
Just so much effort.
Yeah.
Like,
You
Has
cut
anyone
out
ever
a shape of
done the
a
book
sherry
cut out?
bottle.
Yeah. Wasn't it like filed under like A for alcohol in the inside? Like it wasn't subtle. Like she's like,
she does. She says she
says
does
something.
say out
She's like,
loud what it's for.
and yeah. It was like,
Yeah, I forget what it was though.
alcohol recipes. Oh, here we go. Like,
Yeah,
it's
look at
not
this
like
one.
it's like the first place you would look if you're like somebody hid a bottle of booze in this room.
I don't think I've ever even tasted.
B. It was B for booze.
Oh yeah, okay,
B
yeah.
for booze.
Yeah, it was B for booze. Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, for me I think the scariest part was, this is probably weird, but the credits when the phone just is ringing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I found because I found the phone calls really scary. Like the first phone calls super disturbing, and just like all the phone calls and just like the harsh like phone sound, and they make it really loud in the mix. I found those parts scary, but like when the movie just ends and you know that the killer's in the attic and that Jess is like unconscious in her bed and nobody else is there, and it's just like panning out and you see the I assume police officer on the like porch and he's the only other person there, and then the phone just starts ringing and it just keeps ringing until the credits are over.
Yeah.
That I found disturbing.
And
Yeah,
I kept expecting the last minute jump scare too, like him to pop out the door or something.
Yeah, it's always worse when they don't give you the jump scare.
They don't give you that release or that satisfaction.
No.
Of like,
Yeah.
okay, you can breathe. It's over now.
Well, I think we've talked about most of the movie. Is there anything else you guys wanted to bring up about the movie specifically?
Yes, I have in my notes.
Yes.
Early on, the first scene, I liked my favorite character. One of them was the random guy that looked like Gene Shalit. You know what I'm talking about? The guy with the curly hair that played Santa.
Ho.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, that's Gene Shalit from the Today Show, the movie reviewer.
But that's not really him.
No, it's not. But
okay.
That's exactly what he looked like.
I just didn't want to confuse anybody listening to this.
No, I think we should start that rumor that Gene Shalit was in this movie.
Yeah, he was in this movie.
Well, that's a good segue because I have some fun facts here. And the first one is that Gene Shalit was in this movie.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right.
And he played the guy who played Santa. He played the guy who looks like Gene Shalit, played by Gene Shalit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was...
Also, this movie was made in Canada. Did you guys know that?
No, not at all.
Can we look past that, or is this is it a problem?
It's a huge problem for me.
Your hatred of Canada is off the charts. Yeah. You really need to put that aside.
Well,
she's a true American.
I'm a true American. And I really, I'm here for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
At the time of this movie's release, it was the third highest grossing Canadian film of all time. Behind The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz and Do thumb en non. Yeah, something like
No.
that. Pick out some of those noises, and
Mhm.
that's what it is.
Did Dudley Do Right outgross this?
I don't think that was a Canadian film. I think it's just set in Canada.
I think famously, Dudley
Famously,
Do Right is Canadian.
well, yes, the character is Canadian, but I believe that
Yeah.
film was not made in. I believe it was an American production.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that is Canada's
you make a
national
film and
movie.
That's
All right.
And I feel like you trying to take it away from them is rude, and
And
You're
you're
right.
gonna have to issue an apology. To
I'm gonna
the
have
nation
to
of Canada.
issue an
Yeah.
apology to Canada. Shoot. Damn it. All right. Oh yes, alternate ending. Did you guys read about the alternate ending?
No. There's an
No.
alternate ending.
So the studio Warner Brothers
Mhm.
wanted to didn't like the ambiguous ending, so they wanted to change it where Claire's boyfriend, Chris, you guys remember Chris? We haven't talked about Chris because he's a bit of a nothing in the movie.
No, which one's Chris?
He's the hockey player who who helps them look for her.
Okay.
And he gets the cops to listen.
Oh yeah, okay. He goes into the cop and the one that's
and
not
yells
Peter.
at them.
Yeah, so they wanted to have him be the killer and step out in front of Jess and say, Agnes, don't tell them what we did, and then kill her, and then have that be the end of the movie. But the director said no.
No. Did they shoot that or no? They didn't even bother. They just said no, we're not doing that.
Well, I think that they wanted to change it specifically for the American release. So it was released in Canada first, and then they wanted to change the ending for the American release. And I don't think that they ever filmed it. I think it would have had to have been a reshoot. And when it was released in the US, they actually changed the title to Silent Night, Evil Night. But they changed it back because that's not as good as Silent Night, Deadly Night, which was used like a decade later.
I was gonna say, isn't that already used by somebody else? That's what I think. That's why I get confused. Is there's like 4 Christmassy horror movies that are like all puns on something Christmassy with like dead in it. Yeah.
And then the title changed once more when they were going to air it on TV for the first time to Stranger in the House, which is a bit on the nose.
Yeah.
Also, just like nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah. Come on, girl, give us nothing.
What was this always a Christmas movie? Was that like baked into it, or were they like? Was it just like a guy upstairs movie and then?
I think I don't think the initial conception was Christmas movie.
Make a Christmas movie,
but early on it was like that's a good hook.
Okay.
But no, I think it started out as calls coming from inside of the house.
Babysitter, yeah.
Yeah. But interesting fact about when they first aired it on television, it was pulled in some areas because it was too close to a recent murder that had happened in a sorority, which was later discovered to be done by Ted Bundy.
Yeah. Horrifying.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You guys like Ted Bundy, right?
Yeah, big fan.
Huge fan of the murders.
Mostly his politics is what I'm really a fan of.
No, he had some good politics. His work as a lawyer was really spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, full on star in the courtroom. Also married his wife in the courtroom.
Remind me, because I get confused. That's the name of the character from Married with Children, right? That's Ted Bundy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, then that's the one I like.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Al Bundy did a bunch of murders.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't hate that guy.
He did a bunch of
I hate that guy.
Yeah.
He was the one that would like lure women into his car.
I like nice Ted Bundy who sells shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my favorite.
And hates his wife.
Puts his hand down his pants a lot.
Yeah.
But actually, that's true of both Bundys.
Yeah, that's
how that you think about it.
That's
Yikes.
messed up. All right, that's getting cut out.
No.
But that was my best joke.
That was my best. Please.
Please, no.
Don't
All
protect
right.
me.
I think we've come to a very special time when we should all discuss who we would cast in this film using only Muppets.
I have some salient points.
Okay.
Okay, I have an extensive list, but Hannah, do you want to go first?
Okay, I mean Janice is Barb for sure.
Oh,
Yes, I also have Janice as Barb.
okay.
Evan, who do you have as Barb?
I put Piggy in as Barb. This is the problem with this game because there's only
Yeah.
2 Lady Muppets that are the big main
I
Lady
put
Muppets.
a Sesame Street Muppet on there. Is that
That's
okay?
fair. Yeah,
I'll
totally.
allow it. I'll allow
Okay.
it.
Alright.
So I kind of zagged on some of my other casting, for a lot of the women in the movie. But yeah, to get Piggy in there, I put her as Barb, mostly because Barb's my favorite character and Piggy's my favorite Muppet. So I
Yeah.
think that's why I wanted her to be that part.
It was definitely between Barb for Miss Piggy with me, but
Yeah.
I had to go for Janice because
Yeah.
it just, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that laid back. Yeah, I get it. I'm not. Yeah.
I said Miss Piggy was Mrs. Mac.
Yep, me too. 2 for 2,
Yeah.
Hannah.
All right,
Okay,
we
you
got
and
here's
this.
my zag though. Ready?
Yeah,
Miss Mac is Fozzie Bear.
that totally works.
That
Yeah,
does
that
work.
totally
Yeah.
works.
I
Yeah.
do like that.
Fozzie's making dumb jokes. He's the comic relief.
Yeah.
He has a little hat. I can see him walking the same little hat.
Okay, so who did you guys put for Phyllis? Now, Evan, I remember you didn't know who Phyllis was.
No, I did not. No. Oh wait. No. Oh, but in my notes, I called her glasses. I called her glasses, and I said Scooter.
Scooter. That's who I picked. That's
Okay.
also who I picked.
I said Beaker.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't really feel
Kinda
that I
meek.
have a good reason.
no, that's good.
But-
Yeah, he's like meek. He like kind of
Meek, kind
he's just kind
of
of there, looking scared. I can
scared,
see it.
looking scared. Yeah.
Can I have one that I think I nailed it, and I think this is just canon.
Yeah.
The dad of Claire.
Yeah.
It's got to be Waldorf, one of the old men.
Yeah.
It's got to be Waldorf. He looks like him. That's just what he looks like in Muppet form.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I was struggling with that one. I for that one I put Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
Yeah, voice of reason.
And just kind of I assume a buzzkill. I don't know if I could. I guess I'm in the wrong here. Obviously, who did you pick, Hannah?
I feel Sam the Eagle.
For the dad.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I said Sam the Eagle is just the police, like any of the police people they talk to. I think it gives me Sam the Eagle vibes. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I put Sam the Eagle for the main cop, Lieutenant Kenneth Fuller, the actor who was the dad in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
So I had Sam the Eagle for him, and then for the dumb cop. So I was doing some Muppet research, so I did include some characters I'm not super familiar with. But in my research, so Sergeant Nash, who I call the dumb cop, I picked a dual role of Andy and Randy Pig.
Oh, the two, like the pigs in space pigs. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Not
Yeah.
super familiar, but
Yeah. They're like
I feel it. Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, or just like they're like pig. Yeah, they're like
just
background pigs. Yeah.
Well, these two, the clips I found of them, they were being really like doofusy.
Okay.
Sure.
And then there's the laughing cop. And I also double rolled them as Statler and Waldorf.
Okay.
So I had both of them be the laughing cop who just kept laughing at the cunnilingus joke.
Yeah, a Muppet Christmas Carol. Marley thing.
Marley and Marley. Yeah.
Marley and Marley. I was thinking the laughing cop could be the Mana dude.
Sure.
The aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do we have a Billy? Because I do.
I don't.
Did I? I thought I did a Billy.
I say animal. I think animal.
Oh yeah, no, that's
animal,
I didn't write it down, but that's who I was gonna put as Billy. I forgot to write it down, but yes, animal. I agree is Billy.
Okay.
And then so
I would agree.
Who else do we have?
Jess, the main, the final girl.
I say Prairie Dawn from from
Yeah.
Sesame Street.
I said Kermit. Just he's our main guy. He's the hero.
So I have a curveball with this one. So for Jess, I have Gonzo's chicken, and for Peter, I have Gonzo.
Oh. I didn't put a Peter because I had such a hard time.
I was gonna say Sam the Eagle was Peter.
any
But
Muppet, because all the Muppets to me are nice.
Well, I think
and
that the
friends.
dynamic works with Gonzo and his chicken.
Yeah.
sure.
Or what if you flip that and make the chicken Peter and like squawking at him? And then
I think you cracked it.
Yeah, I think.
I think you cracked it.
And the chicken's name, just to be clear, and just so
Is
nobody
Camilla.
knows what it is.
I know,
It's Camilla.
I
Yeah,
know.
please put respect on the name.
I knew
My
you'd get
favorite
mad.
joke in the Jason Segel Muppets is like when she has like a pair of old lady glasses suddenly. You remember? Nobody. It's fine. It's
Why don't
only
you
for me.
describe it to us slowly
so
in with
she, like-
detail?
Yeah.
Yeah, she they go to find Gonzo and he's like working on the roadside, and it like cuts to like Camilla who's still working with her, and she's wearing like these cat eye glasses, the way that like in like a reboot somebody's wearing like to show the passage of time, like the John Mulaney joke,
Uh-huh.
and, and I laughed very hard in the theater for like
That's
5
good.
minutes just about the
That's
chicken
good.
glasses.
Wait, so who did you have as Jess, Evan?
I said Kermit.
As
You gotta-
Jess. Okay,
Yeah,
just
I
yeah,
like a little
'cause the main
gender flip.
character-
I don't know, just like you gotta have
I-
Kermit in there, and he's your main guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and he can't really be Peter.
Yeah, that was my problem. Is who's Peter?
Yeah.
Because I'm never gonna make Kermit Peter. He's too nice.
Yeah. But Gonzo and his chicken.
We
I
could.
think that relationship works there, and I do
Mhm.
like the swapping of the two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you
And
say
the
you're
chick-
Peter, Hannah?
I had him double cast as Sam the Eagle, but like
Oh yeah.
I feel that Sam the Eagle is just like really serious, like Peter tries to
Mhm.
be, but not as diabolical. So
Imagine the chicken though, like looking at those keys.
Yeah. That's
good.
it.
That's it. That's the one.
Wouldn't be able to do any footwork either.
And canonically, I think Gonzo can get pregnant. I think that's canon.
You know, you say that, and I'm like, for some reason, that sounds like a piece of information that is in my brain somewhere.
oh good lord.
Hannah, Google Gonzo pregnant right now.
No,
Do
I'm
it.
not Googling it.
Do it.
Don't
For the
make me
pod.
Google weird things, Evan. Gonna have the feds at my house, freaking weirdo.
Well, I think that about covers
I
everything.
think we talked about
Yeah,
everything.
sure did.
Do you guys have anything else you want to say?
I had a good time. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised with what the movie was and the vibe of it, and it, like I said, it scared me, especially when it ended and I was home alone. That's what I was gonna ask you guys. Like in general, with horror movies, what kind of horror movie do you tend to find scariest? Like, are you like supernatural scary, or like something like this where it's just like a guy that could be in your house and stab you? You think that's scarier?
Oh God. Okay. Well, it depends on how it comes about. I feel like The Strangers really scared the shit out of me.
Okay, yeah, they're just people that it
So
could
like
happen.
people that
Yeah.
that just because you're home fuck you up,
Mhm.
or I could go the supernatural route too because Longlegs also scared. That's another movie that I totally forgot to talk about. Is Longlegs.
Mm,
It was one of my favorites of the year
I'm
too.
still too scared, or I might need to. I'll watch it eventually, but I'll be like
Oh.
during the day at home because I was.
Yeah,
the
with all the
trailers
lights
just
on.
scared me. No, yeah.
Really scary.
So I find supernatural movies to be the scariest type of horror movie to me,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't believe in the supernatural really, like not in
Yeah.
the way of like horror movies, but for some reason those scare me the most. I think for me, one of the things that doesn't scare me about like somebody hiding in my house, it's like, who has the time and who cares enough to want to be like hiding in my shower?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm nobody's gonna be standing there because like who has the patience for that?
You don't have you have like the opposite of main character syndrome where you think,
Yeah, yes.
I wouldn't be killed. I'm not important enough.
Yeah. I'm just a background character. Who's gonna kill me?
Yeah.
Aw.
They're off killing the important people.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give exposition at some point.
I'm an extra in this movie. I'm not even. Yeah, I don't even get my own scene.
Though
Just in the background.
I have noticed that the more scary movies that I've been watching, the more I've been looking behind me as I've been washing my face. I get pretty scared.
When you do the old pop up in the mirror thing, yeah.
Yeah, well, and then Matthew told me it's because they're there when my eyes are closed and I'm washing
That's
my
terrible.
face.
Why would you say that?
Well, because I do sometimes hide in her house, and I'm only there when she, when her eyes are closed, I pop out, and then when she opens them, I run away real quick, and sometimes she catches me out of the corner of her eye.
Oh, I got you, Matthew.
No, she's never caught me.
Get out of my house.
She's never caught me.
I will someday.
She will someday, probably. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening to this. If you've been listening to our brand new podcast, Scary Fairies, this has been Black Christmas, and next week we will be watching Black Christmas, but it's the 2006 remake. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Scary Fairies, a podcast where 3 fairies discuss scary movies. You can write to the fairies at scaryfairiespod@gmail.com. Send suggestions for films to cover and scary topics to discuss. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please share this episode with others who may be interested in listening to the Scary Fairies discuss scary movies. See you next week in the forest.